Hi everybody. Okay, so here we're going to go through another science essentials covering the basic human body system. There's 11 body systems and we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right, so the human body is so amazing. You have all these 11 systems of the body that's working together to make sure that you stay alive. So one thing that you must remember that is essential is that there is no system in the body that stands alone. Every system in the body coordinates with other systems. They're connected to each other, whether it be through another system, through hormones, whatever it may be. So no system stands alone. They all work together to keep you alive. So I'm just going to give you an overview right now of the systems of the body, and then we will talk about each one individually. So if we look here, start off talking about the lymphatic. The lymphatic system also is generally talked about along with the immune system. So we'll talk more about that. Then we have the respiratory system. Then we have our digestive system, our urinary system, our reproductive system. We have a male and female, but of course it's one system, but it's divided into two. Then we have our integumentary system. We have our skeletal system. We have our muscular system, our nervous system, and we have our endocrine system and cardiovascular system. That also has another name that people sometimes call it circulatory system. So we're going to talk about each one of these systems, so hopefully you can get the essentials about each one. Okay, to start off, I'm going to start with the lymphatic and the respiratory systems. All right, so the lymphatic system is made up of vessels. We call them lymphatic vessels. Also, certain types of organs are also associated with the lymphatic system. We call them lymphoid organs. That includes like the spleen, the lymph node, the thymus, and they also is tied in with the immune system. So we talk about them hand in hand. Basically, it's like the straining system. It kind of, clears out your fluids in your body. It traps any debris, and it also aids in the production of white blood cells. So it does return fluids to the blood, because wherever you see a vein or major blood vessel, you will always find, I shouldn't say always, but most of the times you will find a lymphatic vessel running really close by, because they will be draining things out. And there's times that things can go wrong with it. I don't know if you ever heard of elephantiasis. That's basically enlargement of a region due to blockage of the lymphatic fluids. It also plays a role in defense. So lymphatic is basically, it clears out your system, returns the fluid back to the blood, and it provides defense against pathogens, so like white blood cells and those type of things, and development of the white blood cells. Then we have the respiratory system. The respiratory system, if you just, you never think about, let me breathe. Let me breathe so I can oxygenate my blood. You're not thinking about that. But what the respiratory system does is it creates an environment that your cells can receive oxygen. Now, how can that happen? Well, when you breathe in, of course, the respiratory system includes like the nose, starts at the nose, brings air in, it passes through the windpipe known as the trachea. It's commonly known, and the trachea will branch off into other parts, but eventually it gets into the lung region. The lungs have the capacity, because of little sacs that we call alveolar sacs in the respiratory system, that can actually exchange gases through the process of diffusion. There will be another video about that. Basically, the air that you breathe in will have more oxygen than the oxygen that's in your blood as it circulates through the lungs. So the respiratory system works along with your cardiovascular system, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So as the oxygen comes really close to the capillaries, you'll have an exchange of gases. So carbon dioxide will leave the blood and it will diffuse into the lungs that you breathe out. So that's why you breathe out carbon dioxide. And then the oxygen that you inhaled in will diffuse across into your bloodstream through that process of diffusion, areas going from high to low. And from that, you'll have gas exchange. So it will remove carbon dioxide from the body and deliver oxygen to the blood. So to recap, lymphatic system is almost like a strainer of the blood. It will kind of clear out debris and return fluids or lymph fluids back into your venous system. And it also provides defense against pathogens, like by maturing and producing white blood cells. And then you have the respiratory system that aids in the exchange of gases, removing the carbon dioxide from your system that you exhale out and bringing that oxygen that you breathe in into your blood system. So it will oxygenate your blood, and that oxygenated blood will then go to each cell and provide oxygen so that it's keeping you alive. Okay, so the next one, digestive and urinary system. So the digestive system is a system that actually processes food. So it breaks down these large foods that you eat. It could be like pizza, it could be pasta, it could be whatever it is. You bring it, its digestion starts in the mouth, okay? And then it ends up bringing that broken down food further into your digestive tract. So it starts with your mouth, and then it goes to your stomach, which we see here, then goes to your intestines. You have a small intestines and a large intestine. And then we have accessory organs like the liver, gallbladder. What's not shown here is the pancreas. It also provides juices for digestion. But the basic overall of the digestive system, that it processes food, and when you process the food, it breaks it down into nutrients so your body can absorb it, and that's what happens in your intestine. And it removes waste and undigested foods. So like when you go to the bathroom and you do number 2, that's the eliminated waste of leftover from the food. So the digestive system is important in breaking down food, processing the food so you can get nutrients, and that involves organs and also digestive enzymes and juices. All right. Then we have our urinary system. If you hear urinary system, you think urine. Well, sometimes it has another name as excretory system because you're excreting waste from your system. So I'm going to go to number 2, then I'm going to bounce back to the first one here. So the blood circulates through the kidneys, and in the kidneys you'll have filtering out of waste product, metabolic products that will be toxic if it builds up in your system. So example of waste that your body produces includes like urea, there's uric acids. There are different things that will build up, and that is what will be released. It will also certain medications that you may take, let's say antibiotics, some of it may also be cleared by your renal system or your kidneys to get rid of it. But let me just go to this first one that it says here. Controls water balance in the body. Now your kidneys communicate to other parts of your body through hormones to help balance out how much water is in your body. In another video, I discussed homeostasis, okay, so to maintain biological balance. If you haven't seen it, please take a look at that video. So if you have, let's say you are dehydrated, you haven't drank enough water, the kidneys are actually going to secrete less water to make sure that you have enough fluids in your body. Vice versa, if you sit there and drink a gallon of water in 15 minutes, guarantee that high level of blood volume that's going to happen from drinking all that water will trigger your kidneys to release that excess water. Okay, so the urinary system controls water balance in the body, and it removes waste from the blood and excretes them, typically through urine. All right, so we have the digestive system, breaks down food into nutrients, and you eliminate the waste. And you have a urinary system, which controls water balance, and that too also eliminates waste in the form of urine. Okay, so the reproductive system, whether it's male or females, we have organs that are found in the reproductive system, whether it's a male or female. But what they do is that they both produce sex hormones and gametes. So sex hormones includes like estrogen. So we know females produce higher levels of estrogen, and then males is testosterone. Okay. And as you can see here, the male reproductive system consists of testes, and then we have the uterus and ovaries and other components in the female reproductive system. The whole purpose of the reproductive system is to reproduce, to make sure that another offspring can come about through uniting of gametes. What are gametes? Gametes are the sex cells. So that includes sperm, that's what the male produces, and eggs or oocytes in the female. And through coming together, they can actually form a zygote or an embryo. All right, so the whole purpose of the reproductive system is to reproduce. All right, next we have our integumentary and skeletal systems. The integumentary system includes like the hair, skin, and nails. So they're covering. So the hair, skin, and nails. They enclose internal structures. If you take a look at the skin is like a wrapping, so it covers everything. And the skin also contains sensory receptors to pick up certain types of stimuli from the environment. If something's hot, something is cold, you can feel, and so forth. So it is a protective structure as well. And, remember, the integumentary system includes the hair, skin, and nails. Then we have our skeletal system. This one doesn't work alone, even though it does support the body. It enables movement in the body as well. It works along with the muscular system to move. It includes cartilage, bones, and joints. And you cannot move on your own. I mean, someone can force you to move if, you can cause a skeleton to move. But it typically works along with the muscular system. Now, the bone does other things as well as skeletal system does as well, even though it's not listed here. But, it produces blood cells, like red blood cells. It also helps to maintain calcium in your blood, and it stores minerals. So there's a lot more things that the skeletal system does. But since this is an overview, I'm just talking about the general thing that it does. It supports the body and enables movement or locomotion. Okay, so the muscular system actually works along with the skeletal system in terms of aiding movement, and that's when we're talking about the skeletal muscle. Okay, it also helps to maintain body temperature and posture and so forth, but that's only for the skeletal muscles. There are other muscles in the body. All right, there's other muscle tissue types, which include like smooth muscle and cardiac tissue. But a lot of times when people talk about the muscular system, they think just skeletal muscle, even though that's not true. But either way, the skeletal muscles are actually attached to bone through tendons. Okay, so we can see here there are the muscles. This is showing you the anterior muscles of the body. Okay, so the nervous system actually is the main regulator of the other systems of the body. It picks up sensory stimuli and processes it. Any stimuli that it receives, it processes it, and it can, cause a response to the stimuli. It's very important. So digestive system receives information from the nervous system. Every system of the body is somehow, some way, at some level, have some connection back to the nervous system. So there's two parts to the nervous system, general parts. We have the central and we have the peripheral. And remember, the brain has several components. Of course, we're just talking about a general overview. The spinal cord gives out different branches of nerves. Some of them respond in a motor response, that allows movement. And there are also divisions to different nerves, like parasympathetics and sympathetics as part of the autonomics. But just to give you the basics, the nervous system's composed of the brain and the spinal cord, that's the central, and then the peripheral nerves. And it integrates everything. It processes everything. It basically is the master regulator of all systems. Okay, so the next one, the endocrine system, that's a system that a lot of students tend to get mixed up because there's a lot of things going on with the endocrine system. Another common name that we like to call the endocrine system is the hormone system. And what that means, there's a series of organs. They're not found in any one location of the body. Like example, you have the pituitary gland, the thyroid gland, pancreas, adrenal glands, the sex organs, like the testes and the ovaries. They secrete hormones that can then regulate some other part of the body. Okay? So there are hormones that generally are secreted and regulates other parts of the body. And if you throw off one hormone, it can have a cascading event that it can actually cause disruption in other hormones. Such as PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome in women. That's a lot of hormones are actually disrupted there. If you disrupt the thyroid hormone, a lot of stuff can also get disrupted. Okay, so then we have the cardiovascular system. People also call it circulatory system. And when we take a look at it, what it does, it delivers oxygen and nutrients to the tissues of the body. And what you have involved in that is the heart. That's the muscular organ that will pump the blood throughout the body through blood vessels. We have the different blood vessels are arteries. Arteries actually brings blood away from the heart, okay? And the blood is generally oxygenated. And then you have the veins that will bring deoxygenated blood from the rest of your body to your heart, and that's what's seen by these blue blood vessels here, while the arteries are red, except for the pulmonary system, which we'll talk about differently. And then we have the capillaries. The capillaries are really, really thin. This allows exchange or diffusion of molecules or gases or whatever it may be. So they're found all throughout the body. Remember I talked about the lymphatic system. The lymphatic vessels run pretty close by to the rest of the blood, the blood vessels like the veins in your body. So the cardiovascular system delivers oxygen and nutrients to tissues and equalizes the temperature in the body. But essentially, it will keep you alive by making sure that every cell, every tissue has the nutrients it needs and the oxygen that it needs, and to make sure that the carbon dioxide gas will be released from your body so your blood doesn't, get thrown off in terms of homeostasis. Okay, so quiz time. Let's see. Hopefully you can remember this. Right, question 1. Do systems of the body function on their own? Yes, no, or maybe. All right, of course, maybe. I just threw that in there, but no one should pick maybe. So remember I said the first thing that you cannot forget is that no system of the body works on its own. So important for you to remember that. Your digestive system will not work on its own if it did not have stimulation from your nervous system. Okay, so that's to give you an example. Next one, how many systems of the body are there? And I said 11. So if you picked 11, you're in good shape. All right, which system of the body functions in support and locomotion in conjunction with the skeletal system? In conjunction with the skeletal system. That would be the muscular system. A lot of times we call the skeletal and muscular system, we call it together skeletal muscular system because they kind of work hand in hand with each other. So it's very important to kind of remember movement and locomotion comes together with the muscles that acts on the bones. Next one. Which system of the body includes the capillaries, arteries, veins? You should know this one. And I made it simple because the answer is the first one, cardiovascular / circulatory system. Remember, those are the ones that have the artery, the veins, and the capillaries, and the blood gets pushed around the body through the muscular organ called the heart. Okay? So it's very important for you to remember that. Next one. A system composed of hair, skin, and nails is which one is it? Is it cardiovascular, integumentary, endocrine, reproductive, or respiratory? I know what it is. Let's see if you're right. That is the integumentary system. Remember that it's a covering, it protects your organs, includes the hair, skin, and nails. It also does other things, but just to get the big picture, just remember hair, skin, and nails provides protection. It's a wrapping of your body. Next one, which system breaks down food into smaller components or nutrients? Okay, so it'll break large things down to make it smaller. So basically what I'm talking about is food processing. So one thing should come to mind when I talk about the system of the body that processes food, and that is the digestive system. Remember, it starts in the mouth. Then it goes down the esophagus, into your stomach, into your small intestine, large intestines, until it actually goes to the anus and exits out your body. But it also has accessory organs that play a role in it, and that includes the liver and other accessory organs. All right, here's the other question. Kidneys belong to blank system. Which system does kidneys belong to? Endocrine, digestive, respiratory, urinary, nervous system. The answer, of course, is urinary system. Remember, the kidneys is the filtering system. And what it does, it will filter out the blood. The blood circulates through the kidneys. It takes out any waste, like the nitrogenous waste, like urea or anything toxic. Certain medications also get cleared through the kidneys. It also helps to regulate water balance. And when the urine is produced, from the filtrate, it'll go down to your bladder until you eliminate it or excrete it. So the kidneys belong to the urinary system. Next one, which system produces the gametes? If you don't remember what gametes are the sex cells that include sperm and egg. So you should automatically think that the answer should be reproductive system. If you got it, great. Which system provides oxygenation for the blood? So which system of the body will bring in oxygen and actually allows the cells in your blood to become oxygenated, or for oxygen to cross to it, or vice versa, carbon dioxide can leave the blood? That system would be none other than the respiratory system. All right, next question. Which system of the body removes waste, like urea? Is that a tricky question? I just said what urea was. It is a nitrogen waste product. All right, so, and the system that eliminates that is the urinary system. Next question. What system is the filtering system and provides defense for your body? Filtering, so removing debris, getting things out, and then it returns back. And then when I say provides defense, you have like white blood cells and things that start maturing. So what system? Is it urinary? Obviously not, because we discussed that. Is it digestive, integumentary, lymphatic/immune, or muscular? If you picked lymphatic/immune, you got it 100% right. All right, next one. Which system of the body interprets sensory information and is the major regulator of other systems? So which one basically integrates the other ones, kind of determines what the other organ systems do? That means there's kind of like a hierarchy. Even though all the systems are important, there is one that, remember I said I have to put out on its own because it integrates and processes everything. If you picked nervous system, you are correct. Remember that contains central nervous system that's made up of the brain and spinal cord, and then you have the peripheral, which are all the other nerves that lie outside of the central. It processes everything. So hopefully you got 100%. Did you get 100%? If you did not get 100%, I want you to go back over and watch the video and take the quiz again to make sure you understand the basics of the human body system. Now, each system, what I gave you was just barely scratching the surface because each system has a lot of intricate detail. And I will provide videos later on giving details of each system of the body. So please go ahead. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. I'll make sure I try to address it. If there's another video that you'd like me to make, please put that down in the comment or just let me know if you got 100%. I hope you did. So please hit a like button if you like this video, and I will talk to you soon in the next video.